So it turns out that most of the fruits and vegetables that we eat are made of mostly water. Take these green beans, for instance. They're 90% plus water by content. And what I want to do is I want to intensify the flavor of these green beans. So rather than blanching or steaming, I want to reduce the amount of water inside the green bean by using a dry heat cooking method. The steam from within the green bean will cook the green bean. It will wilt the green bean a little bit. And by going into a really aggressive pan, aggressively hot pan, we'll get some nice charred bits throughout. And then I'll finish it with some seasonings thereafter. So what I've got right here is a very, very hot pan. No oil or anything in it as of yet. It's on the highest heat possible right now. I'm going to take some cooking spray and just lightly coat the pan. And you see the smoke point hit immediately. That's okay in the case of this particular recipe. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to add in a single layer, and you can do this in batches. And don't be afraid to let them burn. And you can hear this kind of sizzle and pop and crackle. It's a very aggressive way to cook vegetables. So don't be too fussy with the beans in the pan. You can let them do their thing, and you can simply give them a little shake every once in a while. If you want to learn the flip, it's just a little flick of the wrist. And if you want to learn how to do it, just start by doing it gently. It's just the gentle tumble, out and then up, out and then up. It takes a little practice. And use your tongs to maintain stuff in a single layer. And you can see right here that the green beans are starting to blister and pop a little bit. That's exactly what we want. So I discovered this technique for charring vegetables on the streets of Thailand. There was a woman doing some street food, and she was cooking vegetables very aggressively in a wok with just a thin coating of oil, and I could smell the blistering of the vegetables in the street. Now, this recipe isn't Thai in its origin, but the technique is very Thai in its inspiration. And what you're looking for here is a perfect balance of char and then tenderness of the bean itself. If you find that you're getting too much char, what you can do is back off on the heat a little bit and then let it cook for a little bit longer in the pan. But right now, that high heat is doing its job as I want it to. Now, if you go too long, they will certainly wilt and turn sort of a grayish green on you, and you don't want that. So find the balance there. Now, like anything that's been cooked on a stove, there's some pretty aggressive heat both below and then in this pan that are carrying over into the green beans. So one of the things that we want to do now is just let those green beans rest off the stove. They're continuing to cook in there. You can hear sort of a pop and sizzle. You can hear pressure, actually. It's like a little squeal that's going on inside the green bean where that water's trying to get out. It's this faint squeaking noise. It almost sounds like a mouse in your cabinet. So I'm a huge fan of béarnaise sauce, and so what we're going to do is do a finish that really mimics the flavor of béarnaise sauce with a little bit of vinegar, a little bit of chopped tarragon, and some butter to finish. Again, the heat is off at this moment in time, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add just a touch of butter, and we're going to allow the heat from the pan to melt, and we're going to toss the green beans in the butter. And we're adding a touch of cider vinegar throughout. And you hear that sizzle. If you don't hear that sizzle and reduction taking place in the pan, and don't be afraid to turn on the heat again for a moment or bring it back to the stove like I did here, right? There's still a little bit of a residual heat in the pan that's coming from underneath, and all of this, the liquid from the vinegar is reducing off. So I'll give that a little toss. Then what we're going to do is we're going to toss in the freshly chopped tarragon and season with a touch of salt and just tumble them with your tongs. And there you have it, simple and easy, no waiting for water to boil, pan-charred tarragon green beans. You can find this and other nifty tricks about how to cook vegetables and all kinds of other things in my book, Mad Delicious. I'm gonna have a great day.